everything. Hello people, I'm live. It's brew day. I'm early. Well, no, it was originally planned for 10 o'clock, then I pushed it back to 12, but I'm doing it, so I thought I'd log in and we would get cracking. I'm on the Stovetop, which is fantastic. Back where I am comfortable. And what am I doing? I'm brewing a Märzen. The idea behind this is that I brew it for a couple of days, and well, not brew it for a couple of days. I've got 4 weeks to get this done for Oktoberfest. Good morning, Freako. How are you, pal? Hope you're good. Morning, Jamie. How's it going, pal? Just doing the brew day live, so yeah, nothing much happens really. You know, I'm mashed in already. I've got it going. I'm a bit too hot at the moment, so I'm hoping, in fact, I'm going to take that off because that keeps going off. That tells me I'm too hot. Right, so I'm just going to take that lid off just to try and cool that down a little bit, because I am way too hot at the moment, which will not help at all. So how things can go wrong already, as Rob said. So I'm mashed in now, so I will be literally just watching that now for the next 50 minutes. This is really annoying me. I can't turn it off, but there's no flame on that, and the temperature just keeps on going up and up and up. It's mad. Jamie, we won. We won 3-1. Was 3-0 up, and then they scored a pretty decent goal from outside the box at the last, you know, within the 91st minute. A little bit disappointed with that goal, but you know, I'll take 3-1 all day long. I really will. Yeah, it was good. It was really good. So yeah, for those of you who are in, so the idea being is I've got 10 litres of water in here. I've mashed my grains in. They're currently steeping, and then at the end of this I'm going to put it in here into the Pinter 3, and we're going to let it sit for 3 weeks until Oktoberfest, and hopefully I'll have a nice Marzen to drink on that day. Should be good. Looking forward to it. Fingers crossed. But this is the part where, you know, not a lot is happening. I do have a few jobs that I need to do. I've got a nice little new toy that I'll be using today. I've bought myself some new weighing scales. So I've weighed my grain out this morning with it, and I'll be weighing my hops out very shortly. Hey Kevin, I'm from England. All in all, Jamie, this should take an hour in the mash. Like I said, I've got 48 minutes left of that. Then what I've got is I have to boil for another hour, and then I need to cool it down as quickly as I can. So what I'll do is I'll just stick it in the sink with loads of ice packs around it, get it down to 20 degrees, and then what I'm going to do is then put it into the Pinter and pitch the yeast. So in about 3 hours it should be done. That's the plan anyway. What I do need to do is I've got plenty of time, but I do need to weigh out my my hops. I've had to sack this off because this was reading way too low, so I'm using that thermometer there, which I absolutely love. And then for those of you who are interested, I'm going to be tracking the fermentation on this. This is currently on charge, so this is the wrapped pill, so this will go in there as well, and it will, you know, track the fermentation. I can see how it's going inside the pinter, because it's an enclosed vessel, you can't see what's going on. You know, the instructions for the pinter, you know, say give it around a week and a half, but the yeast that I'm using is known for being really fast, so I've got that. I'm going to be tracking it throughout, and hopefully I can get it into cold crushing conditioning under a week. That's the plan, but we'll see. So what I'll do is I'll bring this over here, and I can still hopefully talk to you guys whilst I'm doing this. For those of you who are interested, what I'll do actually is I'll tell you what goes into this. So the recipe in there is I've got 1 kilo of Bohemian Pilsner malt. I've got 265 grams of Munich 1. I've got 145 grams of Vienna, and I've got 110 grams of Cara Munich 2. And then the hops, I am going to be using Hallertau Mittelfrüh. Now I've got a 100 gram box here, but I'm not going to be using 100 grams. I'm only going to be using for this, as I've dropped them on the floor. I'm only going to be using 15 grams, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 10 grams at the start of the boil, and then I'm going to add 5 grams with 10 minutes left, and that's when I'm going to add my proto flock as well. Not this one, Jamie. This one is going to be a Märzen, so it'll be a German style lager. That's the plan. The ciders were straightforward. I'd need to actually redo a video of the cider, just to show people. You know, I thought it was going to be really difficult, but it was so straightforward. So what I might do is I might do that again on a smaller scale, still using my bucket, but then do a video on it, because I didn't do a video. I totally forgot. Exactly, Jamie. So you know, the whole point of doing this is doing it for Sharktoberfest / Oktoberfest, and just seeing if I can do it in that time. I've already had a little bit of a disaster, right? So when I was putting my grains in, I didn't tighten the bag enough, so the bag went in. I think I've got a bit of grain in my wort, so I've got my tea strainer, and when I'm transferring into the pinter, I'll be using this to catch any little bits of unwanted grain, so hopefully it don't go in the pinter, because that's the last thing I need, is when I'm pouring it to have loads of grain and stuff in it. I had that with the Verdun light bulb that I tried to dry up. You know, I had a bit of hop matter every single time I was pulling it. So we will see. We'll see how it goes. That is going still way too hot, but there's no heat on it at all. So what I need to do is I need to crack on with my hops. So I've got these. I use these nice little glass things, and they tend to be cool. So what I'll do is I'm going to get those weighed out so they're all ready. I can't even open a bloody box because I put this label on. You know it's bad when you can't even open a blooming label, eh? What I like about dark rock, yeah, and this is personal preference. I don't think I'm going to do it today. But when you buy a 100 gram pack from Dark Rock, it comes with this nice little hop bag, and that's how I put the hops in when I am outside doing the bigger batches, because I just prefer it, because It keeps all the hops in check, whereas this one, it's a small batch and I'm doing it through the siphon, so I can negotiate the hop matter, and I've got that tea strainer that should sort it out, fingers crossed. So what I do with those is I save them, and when I'm doing a bigger batch I use them. So just if anybody is interested, that is the siphon that I'll be using. It's a new one, I've never used it before, I've not even tested it, so God knows what that's going to do, but I don't think you guys are going to see that, because I'm not going to, you know, when it comes to that I need to be concentrated and not talking to you guys, whereas doing this bit I can sort of talk at the same time. So let's turn this on, let's put this on. So let's reset, he says. There we go. So let's cut the box. They're all nice and vacuum packed. There we go. No Frico, all I'll be doing is I've mashed. Once that mash is done, I'll take the bag out, and then the only thing I'll be adding into the pinter is the yeast. I won't be adding any other adjuncts or whatever. Don't need to. What I've noticed around the pinter is it's not the best for additions after you've sealed it, because it's a total enclosed vessel. So let me just weigh. So let's say these additions are so small. So this is the hop addition of 10 grams for the first bit of the boil. And then I'm just going to weigh the second one out, and this one's even less, so it's 5 grams this one. That might do it. There you go, so it did do it. I just added, so it needed to add 2 more little bits to it, and there is the 5 gram 10-minute edition. So what I'm going to do is just seal those up. No, I'll not seal them up, just fold them over, stick them back in their bag, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and put them into the freezer. So I'll be back in a sec. I've got my microphone attached, so I don't know if you can still hear me. That's the whole point anyway. So they're now in the freezer part. So the good thing about my fermentation fridge, my smegerator around there, is it's got a freezer attachment at the top, and that's where I keep all of my hops. So it's fantastic. What do I need to do? So what I need to do is I need to get a proto flock, because I need to add that into the 10-minute edition as well. So normally I add half for a 19-litre batch. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to separate it, and I'm just going to add a quarter, and that will go in at 10 minutes as well. And then I've got another quarter there just to pop back in the tub there, just for when I do another one in the pinter, because I'm going to need to, because the yeast that I'm using, I'm only going to be using half a pack of yeast as well, so I'm going to need to do another pinter batch at some stage. So where do I get the stuff from? So I use quite a few different places, Jamie. So this, you know, the scales are from Amazon. All the grains, so the Pilsner malt was from the malt miller. The other grains were from Dark Rock Brewing. This is from Dark Rock. You know, when I say Dark Rock, it's a shop that's about a couple of miles away. So 5-10 minutes in a car, and they sell everything. So why not use them when I can? But I use the malt miller for stuff. The yeast I think I got from Cross My Loof. I use different suppliers for different things wherever I feel they're cheaper. My hops I get solely from Dark Rock because I think they're cheaper at Dark Rock than anywhere else, because I go and fetch them. So I don't pay delivery. I don't, I think they are a few pence cheaper as well, so it all adds up and it's great. So at this stage I'm a bit worried about my temperature. I'm not going to lie to you, because I'm currently at 70 degrees. I need to be a lot cooler than this. I need to be about 66 and I'm currently at 70, so I'm a bit worried already, but just go with it. It's not like brewing on the all-in-one where as soon as it gets that temperature it stops. This was me on a stovetop. I've turned it off and for some reason it was still going up and up and up. Oh, Jamie, do you know what? I absolutely love it. Yeah, I'm doing this on a live today, but normally it's just for me. When I'm outside in the garden brewing, it's a bit of a release, if you get what I mean. You sort of forget about everything else that's going on in the world, and you just crack on and brew, and I enjoy it. Also, as well, it's a damn sight cheaper. The pale ale that I brewed the Super Galactic Nectar on, I would have happily have drunk that all day, every day, and that I think worked out at 75p a pint. What I need to start doing is, I think for my videos, is I need to start figuring out, putting what the costs are of a pint on some of these things. Like obviously I don't know costs of electric and stuff like that. But what I do, Jamie, is I look at it from a price per pint compared to my local pub. I don't really go into, but the last time I went in there, it was £5 odd for a pint of Cruz Campo, right? So what I then did was I bought the Perfect Draft, which, once you go in with your keg returns and all that stuff, roughly works out what some of them are £3.50 a pint, which was miles better, and it was, draft beer at home. Then, I went on to the Pinter, which then worked out around £2 a pint. And all in with some of this stuff, it's a lot cheaper. So, for example, that Hallertau Mittelfrüh, I don't actually know how much it was. I didn't look, but there's some packs of hops are £7, some packs of hops are £4, but for the size of batch that I'm brewing, it's not bad. I'm brewing 20-litre batches, so if I'm I've got 19 litres, I'm getting 33 pints in a keg. Now, there's other ways of doing it. There's a guy who I follow, Gaz at Fermented World. He does all of his in a bucket, and he bottles everything. Which is another way of doing it. You can bottle if you've got space. It getting into it is a bit expensive, but it depends how you do it. This is going to be a 5 to 6 litre batch by the end of it. And I think the pan was, £15. The bag was like £8 or something like that. The Pinter is, you know, you can get that for free, but you can buy the buckets for, you know, for about 10-15 quid, and then again you buy the bottles. All in all, you'd probably spend about 60-70 quid getting into it, you know, to get the bare minimum of stuff if you did it this way, because when you do it big batch and, you know, all in one, the all in one systems are quite expensive, you know, and the kegs that I've got, the Cornelius kegs, they're quite expensive. It does add up if you really want it to, but it can be cheap also. And, you know, for me, you've got fresh beer. Yeah, as I say, I don't know how much it is exactly, because I used grain from a previous recipe as the base malt, and then I went and bought the others. So I don't exactly know, you know, 100% the costings of this one. But, you know, we've got, you know, you look at something like this, which is the Proto Flock. It's £1.85, and you get 10 brews out of it. So that's, you know, 18p onto your recipe. Do you think initially to get started, so getting 12 months part subscription? So I signed up for the Pinter initially and did the kits. That's how I got going, and I thought that was a brilliant way to get going, and I would recommend it to anybody. They do some stouts on. They do some stouts on the Pinter. So what I would say is give them a go. But, you know, both me and Mr. B now use this all grain on the stovetop, and we both think it's an absolute perfect vessel for more traditional styles, and, you know, like stouts and milds and bitters, you know, things like that. You know, it's just so I'm doing a Märzen on it because I just want a smaller batch. It self carbonates in there. You know, it's brilliant. It's an all-in-one vessel. You know, you put it in. Let me just go and get the other bit. So you got the dock, and literally, what you do is, let me just take those bits off. Once you've put the lid on like that, you literally put that on, give it a turn, and then you stand it up like that. And what happens then is the yeast and any trub remaining falls into this dock, and then what you do is you disconnect it, and then it's all in there, and hopefully you've got some lovely clear beer in here. That's the plan anyway. That's the idea behind it. And then once it's done, it comes with a nice little tap handle. You know, you got your little cover that just fell off, and then you literally put that on, if I can get it on, and then you pour your beer literally like that in your fridge. It's brilliant. I absolutely love it. Great little invention. Mr. B uses his for all of his more traditional type stuff. Just get a so we're currently just over half an hour into the mash. So I'm trying to do my video for the as well. So what I do is I'm just trying to do, I get myself 5 seconds of footage, and that's what that'll do for the video. And I'll just put it back on charge because I need to, otherwise it'll be... But yeah, so it's just a bit of a waiting game, just keeping my eye on it. Like I say, I've got the lid off because I'm still too hot at the moment, which ain't great when I'm half an hour through. So I don't think I'll be as efficient, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see what gravity I've got when I've cooled down. Hopefully I'll be, you know, a good ballpark figure. I need to get a refractometer really, because, you know, if I had a refractometer I could measure it along as the brew day is going on, but I don't have that ability to. It is what it is. Is there anything else I need to do whilst I'm here? No, I've weighed everything up. So I've weighed all my hops. I've got my proto flock in there. I've got my mash on. I'm in a good place. I'm not too sure, right? I bought one that was cheap and it didn't seem to work, but maybe it was because I didn't know what I was doing with it. I think you get them off Amazon for 15-20 quid. But it's a cool little tool because you just put a little, instead of, you know, if I'm taking a gravity reading on this, I'm losing 100 mil every time I'm doing it. Well, if I've only got 5-6 litres of, you know, of work there, 100 mil is quite a lot to lose each time. So what you do is apparently you just get a little pipette and you just put it on the end and you look through and it tells you what the gravity is. And apparently, you know, it's the better way of doing it until you put alcohol in it, and apparently it's not the best then. Yeah, precious fluid loss, you know. If you're doing 19 litre batches or 20, you know, once I've put it in my fermenter, it's 23 litres, then yeah, 100 mil isn't so bad if I'm doing a massive 23 litre batch. But we'll see how we go with it. I'm still way too hot with this. So I'm not happy, to be fair. Let's have a look what this one says, even though I said I'd given up on it. We'll see. Yeah, so I'm too hot, which is not great. So when I'm doing my 19 litre batch, yes, I use tap water, but what you have to do is you have to use Camden tablets, and what that does is that gets rid of the chlorine and chloramine from the water, because that can have an adverse effect on the flavour of the beer. So as a minimum you use that. What you then do, and something that I'm trying to learn, is you add salts to the water to try and get the water profile a little bit better. But you can use tap water for this one, because I'm not messing around with salts and stuff. I've used, in fact, I'll go and get it. Oh, okay, I'll sort it in a sec. I use this. That's what I use when I'm doing my stovetop. I just use Tesco's normal mineral water. You know, a lot of people who brew on the stovetop, on the Pinters, they swear by that. Oh. Right, just 1 second, guys. So if I do this, will it?
Wait, you're live?
Yes, I am live. Yes.
Can I say hi?
No.
Why?
Can you see? Can you see everything? No, you can only see that. Okay. Right, I'll just be back in
Hello, people.
a second. I need to
Figure
sort my little one's phone out.
I will be watching you live, just so you know.
Okay.
And I like it.
Okay. Right, yeah, one sec, guys. Let me just, cause I'm just going to sort my little one's, my little one out. Keeping my eye out. Normally you can, potter around and do other things whilst you're waiting, but I thought I'd do a live instead, have a chat. Do a mega marathon, probably be about 4 hour live. I don't know if I'm going to do 4 hours. I might do it until the end of the boil, because at that stage I really need to concentrate on what I'm doing. But we'll see. Hello, Isabel. You need to change your name. You're not. What's the word? You're not biased in any way, shape, or form, are you? No. But yeah. So it's just a waiting game now. I am. I've got 20 minutes left of the mash. And then what I'll do is break stuff. Is I just use a normal standard colander, and I'll get the bag out and I'll put the bag on top and just let it drain. Whilst then I'm bringing it up to a boil. Yeah, well. She has helped me with a brew day a couple of times. So I'm not putting this in the book, so I don't need to take any do anything in relation to my book. I should really, because I'm doing the percent. I've done the percentages. Where's my computer? I've worked out the percentages as well, so I should really put it in my book, because then if I ever did want to do a 19 litre version, then I could upscale it. It's like the Pilsner malt was 65%, the Munich malt was 17, the Vienna malt was 9, and the Cara Munich was 7. So you can upscale that to a 19 litre batch. So maybe I should have wrote it in the book a little bit. Not sure. We'll see. We shall see. But I've got this for another reason, because I've been getting messages whilst I'm on this live, so I can reply off my computer as well. This is still at 70 degrees. Can you believe it? I'm not happy. I'm not happy. I'm going too high. Let's have a look what it says. Yeah, the when my fermentation fridge. So I've got a beer in there at the moment that's fermenting. When I open it, you're like, whoa, yes. It's great. Luckily, it's in the fridge. The fridge is shut. It's under the stairs. The cupboard under the stairs. The back door's shut as well. Yeah, kids are cool, Jamie. First world problems. The screen time was on. But we sorted it. Oh God, Isabel reviews and brews daughter. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get my spoon, I'm going to stir it around a little bit and just see what's... Because I think I am way too high. I am worried. That I'm not going to get what I need. Now I've stirred it and it's gone down to 66, so that's all good. But I love the smell of it when it's going. It smells like porridge. It's great. I'm sure Isabel will be happy to know that it's currently at 67 degrees. It's been too high, so it might not be as good. So what I'm probably going to do is just leave it to mash for another 5-10 minutes after it's done. So the lid is now going to go on, and we're just going to wait a little bit. So we've got 15 minutes left of that, and then, like I said, I'm just going to extend it just for a little bit, just to let me just try and get as much sugars out as possible. Okay, Isabel, stop spamming the chat, please. But yeah, it's, as I say, keep saying, it's a waiting game. It is, though, just a waiting game. It's there. It is at the temperature that I need it to be. It has been too high. I should have been on it straight away, to be honest with you. But I wasn't expecting it to keep the heat as much as it has done. I really wasn't. But it is what it is. Yeah, it is. It's just a waiting game. We just wait and see. What I like about Brew Day is once it starts, you know, we've got the smell of porridge, and, you know, if you're using caramel malts, you start getting the caramel smells going around. I absolutely love it. I was actually doing a brew the one day, and the boy come downstairs and he was like, "Oh, what's that smell? It's making me hungry." It was because I was brewing. But yeah, like I say, we are just waiting and relaxing. So what I think I might do, if I could, get a Brew Day pint. And obviously it's water. Too early for a proper pint yet. Although I might have a sneaky Brew Day beer during the boil. We'll see. Jamie, I'm dead gutted, right? Because the boys, me two lads wanted to go. But it didn't go on general sale, so they're not members, and I'm a season ticket holder, so I could have got myself a ticket, but I had to wait for them to go on general sale, and they didn't. So I was gonna go with my lads, but It was frustrating that I couldn't get a ticket. Yeah, it's not ideal, Jamie, but you know, it is what it is. I think they've gave us the whole stand, and we've to be fair, Sheffield Wednesday have priced the tickets so well. I think all in all, it was going to cost me 20 quid for the tickets. So, you know, I think that was the main thing. It's cheap. They've priced it so well. I think for me and the two lads it was 20 quid. So people are gonna snap them up, aren't they? But yeah, bit disappointing, but it's on TV, so I can watch it at home. Thing is, right, I'll have it on at home, and the lads won't be interested, whereas they wanted to go. The last time I went, I seem to remember parking at the top of this hill and walking down to the ground. I don't know if I've made that up or not, but that's where, you know, that's what I seem to remember. I'm sure it was Sheffield Wednesday. Is there a hill next to the ground? Because I'm sure I walked down it. I'm sure I did, but who knows? It was a long time ago. So what have we got time-wise? So the timer says 9 minutes. But like I said, I'm probably just going to give it maybe an extra 10 minutes on top, just to try and get those last bits of sugars out, because I'm not sparging either. So I'm just going to chuck something in the bin. I'll be back in a second, but you should be able to hear me because I've got my mic on. But yeah, the whole Brew Day Live concept is a bit of a strange one when you're done with, you know, you're just standing around waiting now. Like I say, normally I'd be cracking on with other things, you know, a few bits in the garden if I'm out there, or a few bits here, but I don't really want to put the washing machine on whilst I'm on a live. Oh, there are absolutely loads, Frico. You know, I'm still learning, but in the Smegerator there, I think I've got about 10 different types of hop. I've got some UK ones. I've got some. I've got some American ones. I've got some New Zealand ones. You know, it's just playing around with it. You know, these last two brews I've done is I have used UK ingredients only. I have the Super Galactic Nectaron was supposed to be a New Zealand hopped pale, but then I realised that Galaxy was Australian, so yeah. I've got an American hopped pale is my next brew, and I think that's going to be next weekend. So I might do another brew day outside, dependent on the weather. Um, and then what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to do a. I've got to do a rye beer for Brew Club, so I'm going to do a Pacific rye for that. So I'm going to use New Zealand hops, and then what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to do right. What have I got left? Got a bit, and then just chuck them all in and see what happens. If it works, it works. If it don't, it don't. So what I do, Jamie, is when I'm brewing them, I brew pale ales. So they just haven't got the strength of an IPA. I use the same ingredients as an IPA. I just don't brew to that strength. What I do want to do at one stage is I want to brew the way that Azvex do it, because I went and saw Azvex and all they use is extra pale malt and oats, and I've got extra pale malt. I just need to get some oats, and that is all they use. So I might try that. The beer that I've got at the moment, I've got a 4.6 beer. The ESB's 5 point odd. And God knows what this one's going to end up like, because it's still fermenting. It feels like it's going to be so dry though, which I don't think is the point of a golden ale. So I'm going to be a bit don't know what to do with it. The temperature's gone back up. I don't know what is going on. The temperature now has gone back up. I have no idea. Let's get a little snippet video for the YouTube. A 5-second snippet. I have absolutely no idea, Jamie, but it has. There's no heat on, but it's gone up in temperature. Absolutely no idea. Yeah, it really is. I don't know how or what I've done, but I ain't done nothing. All I've done is put the lid on. Now maybe that's just just kept the heat in a little bit. But it is what it is. Yeah, what about how I've done that? So when I'm doing the boil, I'll be sanitising the pinter as well, so I'll be able to talk anyone through that. Because that's the key bit. The key bit is at the moment it's fine. But when you start boiling, the whole idea is to sanitise the wort, and then you've got to get that pinter sanitised. So that's where this bad boy comes in. The sanitizer. There is way too much in there. It's 20 mils, but it is what it is. Don't get me wrong, it smells decent enough. Do it, Jamie. Definitely. I will recommend anybody to homebrew 100%. So I just think it's fantastic. I really do. You know, there's nothing better than when you crack open your own homebrewed beer, and it's fresh as well. You know, it's the freshness of it. You know, you buy cans off the shelf, and that could have been brewed weeks or months ago. Whereas I know that the ESB that I had last night wasn't even a beer 3 weeks ago. It's fresh. This beer will be drank in 3-4 weeks. It's fresh. Be fresh out of the pinter. Let's just see if I can. I dropped out. Yeah, sometimes you can get some really good deals on the pointers. Like they'll give you the vessel for free. You've just got to have 2 months worth of subscriptions. You know, for me, I had the lagers. Right, that's the hour done. But like I said, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give it another 10 minutes. So set time for 10 minutes. Just going to give it another 10 minutes just to steep. But yeah, they do free, but you have to have 2 month subscriptions, and it's worth it. You know, you try different beers and it's great. And like I said, I do think they do a couple of stouts. They're not mad on them. The good thing with it, Freako, is the packs that they come in. If you only have one, I don't know if they do, but they can fit through the letterbox. The pouches. Mm-hmm. I think I might get a coffee in a sec. People not used to me seeing me drink stuff that's not alcoholic. But it is what it is. But yeah. Yeah, exactly, Freako. You know, the packs that you get with the Pinter, all it is what I'm doing, but then they boil it down so much that it becomes this really sugary syrup. And where the bottles of water come in is it asks you to add 5 litres of water. So you add one of those big bottles and then add the pack, and you've got 6.5 litres of beer. Job done. It is straightforward. The process is the same every time. It's just a little bit different in time. And some have a hop edition and some don't. And what you've got is, if you have a hop edition, on the back, you've got this bit, which is where you add the hop edition, if there is. It's like an oil. Then you got the carbonation dial, where you can choose how carbonated you want it. So for this one, I'll keep it on 5 because that'll be totally closed, and that's what you want for a lager. So, but then, yeah, you know, people, you can buy kits as well, all grain kits. So the Malt Miller and Dark Rock do 5 litre kits, which are perfect for the Pinter. You do it this way, and there's definitely stouts in there, definitely. You know, the Malt Miller called it the Kitchen Brewer series, so it's a 5 litre recipe kit. I'm just taking a look at them now. So let's have a look, see if they've got a Pale Ale, IPA, Lager, Pale Ale, Lager, Pale Ale, Bitter, West Coast, Hazy, Brown. So Frico, you were saying, right, that that Esco was on about getting one, right? How funny is it? I don't know if you can see that, but in their Kitchen Brewer series, their stout is called Twisted Stout. How funny would that be for Esco to do a brew called Twisted Stout? And the good thing with the Malt Miller for these 5 litre batches is you can select your crush level. So when you're doing brewing a bag, you select fine crush. Apparently that's the best one to do for bag brewing. And if you're doing it in an all-in-one system, it's just crushed. So they do 1 stout on theirs. Let's see what Dark Rock do as an all grain. Let's have a look. Small batch beer kits, beer style. They used to do loads. Where's the all grain kits? They used to do absolutely loads of them. Let me try and find it, and I can. All grain beer kits. Here it is. So beer style. So Dark Rock have actually got 6 stouts. So yeah, they're in Gornal, yeah. So you can go and have a pint in the Bull's Head. That's what I do every time. So they've got 6 stouts. They've even got a tribute to Guinness should you want it, but they've got all different ones there. It is cheaper if you go in. It does cost a little bit more if you do it online, but it is what it is. As ever, I'm being really impatient with this brewery. I mean, I've got 3 minutes left of the additional 10, but I really want to start boiling because I'm impatient. I tell you what, shall I go and make a coffee first? I don't know. Don't know what to do. I'm just standing around aimlessly now. But yeah, so they do 6, but then you can start creating your own and getting the grain. You know, I've got a thing out in the outhouse that houses all my grain, and then yeah, I think coffee's the way forward, isn't it? What I'm going to do though is I'm going to put myself on mute whilst I do it, because this coffee machine makes an absolute racket. It really does. So I'll tell a quick story. Well, not a quick story, but a quick anecdote, right? I used to have a coffee cup that was wolves. Guess what? It fell apart. It really did. I was like, if there was any cup and there was any, like, you know, reason behind it, that is it. The cup fell apart. But yeah, right, let's go and make a coffee, and then we'll come back and we'll start getting this ready for the boil, yeah? Decided to bring you along with the sounds of the machine. So I have to turn it on, and then it does this thing where it cleans itself out, so it's just doing that. Yeah, Jamie went to get a coffee and never came back. And then with these coffee machines, you press coffee and they always give you half a cup, so I have to press it twice. Don't know why. So let's I'm gonna press it and then do a runner, because I don't, you know, it's going to be so loud. It's a bean to cup. Right, so that's the extra 10 minutes done. But I'm not going to start this until I've got my coffee. He won't do it any harm. Fingers crossed. But yeah, we'll do that. I'll bring the coffee over, and then, in fact, I think I'll get a quick last bit of video footage before we start boiling. It's 68 now, Frico. Not happy. Still not happy. I don't know how I don't know how it went up. Now I normally do record myself lifting it up for the videos, but I'm not going to be able to, am I? Because of being on this live. So I need one of those things, you know, I can stick this to my head, because I do my recording on my phones, and then it can lift up, but you guys will see it. Might even try and get some of the footage off this into my video. Don't know. Here's a question. So there's 5 of you watching. So when you're making a coffee, does anybody else use Coffee Mate? Because I do. I prefer it than milk. Some people don't like it, but I do. Right. Let's go and get me coffee. Give this a bit of a stir. Turn that off. And we're back. I know why my bag fell in when I put the grain in. I didn't put these on. I've got loads of these clips, and the idea is that when you put your bag in, you put the clips in, so when you put your grain in, it doesn't fall in. And that's what I did. Well, that's what I didn't do. Oh no, you can't put coffee mate in tea. Definitely not. Right, so what we're going to do is we are going to take the lid off. I'm going to take that out for now, and I'm going to put my temperature on that up to 100. The good thing with this thing is it beeps at you when it gets to boiling. So I'm going to move this away, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it onto this burner, so it might just take it out. Well, I don't know. If it takes it out of camera, then maybe not. So I've got grain absolutely going everywhere, and I've got some in the work, which isn't great, but like I said, what I'm going to do is I am going to siphon it out. So we're going to lift this bag out, and what I'm going to do is I just put that on the top, and now I'm turning the heat back on. I've just knocked the things, so we just put them back. So heat goes on. I'm just going to put that back in there just so I can check my temperature. So that is now draining. So you can see that it's now draining away. And then what I do is I just give it a little bit of a squeeze as well, just to get the last bit of water out, because you know, these grains soak up so much water that it's I'm trying to do millions of things at once. So I'm now cranking that up. It'll take a bit to get up to temperature. So as soon as it hits that boiling, I will go in with my first hop addition. And you smell the peppery notes and stuff in there. And then, like I said, at 10 minutes, so when, I don't know why it's like this, but the start of the boil is called 60 minutes. So that goes in at 60 minutes. And then with 10 minutes left, at 10 minutes, that's when these go in. And we boil it for 10 minutes, and then we've got to cool it down quick as possible. Yeah, give it a good old squeeze to get that last bit of sugary goodness out of it. And hopefully, you know, the idea of this is to have this beer to be about 5.5%. With the high mash temperature, it might be a little bit lower than that, but we're still going to have a beer at the end of it. That's the main thing. Whether it turns out to be a full-on Märzen and what have you, who knows? We'll see. But yeah, so that is now on top. We're still draining a little bit, but I will give that a good old squeeze in a bit, and then well, if you've got a compost heap, this is great to go with a compost heap. Someone like Jack Viking, who has a farm, this would be brilliant. You know, if I brewed enough, I'd I'd give it away, but I don't think I do. You know, there's just over 1.5 kilos of grain there. Is it worth sending that to a farm? Not really. But we'll see. Got to remember as well that this is quite warm, so when you squeeze it, you can burn your hands a little bit. See, so you got all that lovely goodness coming out of there. Trying not to burn my hands, so I'm just going to leave it for a little bit. It smells absolutely lovely, but I'm just going to give my hands a little wash now. Because the thing is with that, because it's that sugary, that stuff gets very sticky very quickly. Oh, you can't.
I've told him he can have them your pot noodle things because that's the only option right now.
Yes, unfortunately I'm going to be using this for at least an hour. Because I've got to boil for an hour, I'm not even at temperature.
Which one's chicken, Dad? Pecking jaw.
Stuck.
Ooh!
Right, 1 second everyone. Yeah, I know, Frico. The kids have come down deciding they want lunch, so
Sorry, Freako.
so I'm just
Sorry, Freako.
trying to sort all of that out. So yeah, so I've got the kids in the kitchen. They're getting some dinners done. Can you turn that down, please? But what we've got is I've took the grain now off the pan, and I'm now firing up the fire. So I'm now 85 degrees. I can see I do have lots of grain in the pan, so I know that I've definitely got to use the little strainer to catch those bits. Yes. Just make sure you don't get your hands.
I touched it. Ow.
So yeah, but now it's gone down to 84. I have no idea.
The pot's burning, so I can't see that. Oh, and that's smoky.
Go and mix it.
That, that's hot.
Mix it up now.
What?
Put the sauce in and mix it up.
Ooh.
Right, where was I? So yeah, that is now coming up to temperature. So we've just got a little bit, just waiting now. As soon as it hits boiling, we set the timer again for an hour. And like I said, we add the first hop addition. And that is 10 grams of Hallertau Mittelfruit. There's a lot of waiting around, isn't there? Because I've only got this amount in there, I'm not going to get a boil over, which is great. Because there's no surface area with the grain, because it's so sugary. You can get a boil over. But what we do is, as soon as we add the hops, it will break that surface tension, and it should be perfectly fine.
Stop.
So yeah, we're just at 87 now. So again, we just wait. Come here, come here, come here. Trying to get the dogs over now. Yeah, it's all about patience. The worst thing for me, brew day is fine, but the worst thing for me is once it's done. You know, I hate having it in keg and not being able to drink it. I just want to drink it straight away. So there's nothing worse than not being able to. You know, like I said, normally in a brew day, you'll be going around doing lots of different things at the same time. Or, like I did the other week, because the weather was so nice, I just literally got a camping chair and sat next to the kettle. I did. I just sat there and I was like, this is brilliant. Lovely weather. Brew days going. Why not? Why not indeed? But we're at 90 degrees now, so we're almost there. Just got to wait a little bit longer. And then the first hop edition will go in. And then once that goes in, what we'll do is we'll talk about sanitizing the Pinter. That's the name of it. We'll go through that and then we'll see what's occurring. I'll talk you through it and then I'll go and do it, because some of it I have to put down the sink. But the others I try I try and put it all in here, because what I then do is I use my I try and empty the stuff into there, because then I can put my Pinter in it before I can put my pill in it before I put it in the fermenter. I can also put my siphon in there and get that sanitized as well. Just keeping me my eyes on the dogs. Just to see what's occurring. The dogs don't seem to like it on brew days, because they're just all over the shop. They are. And the boy thinks he can use one of my tiny rebel glasses. He can think against it. It's on the left hand side. Use the Corona one. Does anybody else's kids like to use your best glasses? Because I was dying for a lager the other day, and I've got my favourite lager glass, the Hop House 13 one, and in he walks with a glass full of Coke in my Hop House 13 glass. I was like, oh thanks, I was going to use that in a bit. Yeah, do you know what, Freako, right? When I'm outside brewing, they really do not settle, the dogs. They don't. They're all over the shop, because I'm all over the shop, and they don't seem to be relaxed. Yeah, bit like that with mine. I was thinking to myself the other day, where's one of my glasses? And then all of a sudden the boy come down with about 4 or 5 glasses, and I'm like, oh, there it is. They just like to squirrel them away, don't they? What I'm gonna try and do is I'm gonna try and get my iPad and try and get some football on. We're at 94 degrees, which is great. If my tripod's broken, so if I move it, it's going to cause me grief. But if I could, I would show you that this does not look. Should I do it anyway? It doesn't look the greatest when it's at this point. Like I said, it's got that foamy head on top, and I've sent you know, in fact, what I'll do, because I need a video picture of it anyway. Is I'll take a photo of it, right? So that is what it looks like. Doesn't look appetizing at all, but can you see those little bits of grain in it? So those little bits I'm not happy about. But like I said, they will be fine once I've strained it out. And something as simple as this meant I couldn't do it, but they didn't get through the bag, Frico, and you know, when the video does come out, you'll see that because I didn't clip it on, when I put the grain in, the bag fell into if you get what I mean, and a little bit overflowed. Whereas normally it's not like that. So yeah, the good thing about this little contraption there is when it gets to temperature, it'll beep at me. Yeah, so these are so important when you're doing brewing the bag. Even though it's got like a little tie cord, it doesn't keep it. And I totally forgot about these. It's been that long since I've done a stovetop brew. But we're almost there. The smell is beautiful, lovely. We've got like biscuity, caramel aromas. Beautiful. It's one of the best things about brew day is when it starts going. The smells are absolutely fantastic. So like I said, these will be going in very shortly. There's me beeps. Now I don't think I'm rolling enough on the boil yet. So even though that is saying 100 degrees, I've not even got a rolling boil. It's now saying it's 101. So maybe that was a bit out of kilter because it's saying it's 101, right? But I've not got a rolling boil going on here. So maybe, just maybe, that is not right. Or that is not right. And maybe when it was showing too high, it was actually okay. Right, so I've now got my rolling boil. So let's do hops first. And then let's set the timer. Hang on. Set timer for 1 hour. I don't need set timer for 1 hour. Set timer for 50 minutes. That's better. Because if I set it for an hour, I'm just going to be here and I'll just be like, oh dear. I've got a message that's been held for review. MD Shakil, I think you were in the other day. Now let's hide that, shall we? Yeah, we don't want stuff like that. We are brewing. And now we're at a lovely rolling boil. Absolutely fantastic. You can see the steam coming out. That's the advantage. One word of advice to people, you know, if you're going to do this Frico, you need to open your windows and doors because your walls, especially in the winter, get absolutely soaked. I learnt that. I learnt that a long time ago. So now I'm at a rolling boil. Let's get another video of this. Yeah, it's a very good tip because, you know, as I said, my when I did it during the winter, all my walls were soaked. I was like, Jesus, man. Not great, but I think I need to have a bit of a tidy up. So let's start. Great thing, these were 5 litre buckets. I just bought 5 of them, and they hose grain. I use them for weighing. I use them for holding grain. Love them. One of the best things I've bought. Yeah, go on the website and see if you can get the deal where the vessel's free. All you need to do is pay for 2 months subscription. Get yourself 2 lots of stout. Good starting point. My lid, let me just put that there because I don't need it. I'll need this later. So what I do, I've got to, in fact, whilst that is boiling, I'm going to put that back in there to sanitize. Because what I need is I'm going to need that. I'm just going to turn it off. I just need that to sanitize. Is that better? Can you hear me now? Yeah, I think my mic's died, so I've just unplugged it, so the sound will be a little bit different. Quite a good test, actually, just seeing how long these mics will last, and they've done well. They've done an hour and a half. I have got 2 of them, but, you know, I'll just do it without. Don't make no odds at the moment, does it? So, yeah. We're now boiling. We have 44 minutes until we need to do the second hop addition. And then that'll be 10 minutes and then we'll cool it down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just tidy up a little bit. I'm going to keep these over here. Everything I need. Put over here. What I'll do then is we'll talk about the sanitisation of the Pinter. Obviously, I can't walk away and talk this time now because I've not got my mic in. Put that lid back. So, right, where are we now? Pinter. So just messaging Mr. B. He's also doing a stovetop brew today by the looks of it. Right, so let's talk about this bad boy. So like I said, when it's finished, got a bit of grain dust on it. Once it's finished, it's like that and you pour the thing out. But what you do is we've now got to sanitise this vessel. So we're taking all the things off. And then what we're doing is we put 5 litres of water into the Pinter. We then put 10 ml of the sanitising fluid in there. Now, a little tip for everyone is make sure, because when you go through your cleaning, you take this off to clean it, right? But make sure that is in the right place, and it is. And make sure that this is on 5 at the moment, because when you start putting the water in, if you've not got that closed, it will fall out. It'll just start going all over the top. So, is there a way that I can do this? Can you see that there? I'll tell you what I'll do. You can see that. So, I'm going to get 5 litres of water in there. So I've got a 2 litre jug. Now normally I'll get all this everywhere. I've not used salts today, Rob. I've used Tesco's bottled water, mate. So I've not gone with any salt. I'm so paranoid, right? Yeah, you can see nothing's going. So let's get another 2 litres. And then going to get another litre. So that's the 5 litres of water in there. So what I need now is, there's way too much in there. So I'm going to see if I can level it out a little bit. By tipping maybe a little bit in there, no. So with this Chem-San, what I quite like about it is you've got the little bit which you put in. Now it's currently saying 15 ml, so it's a little bit too much, but we get the sanitizer in. When you actually, if you were to get a Pinter Frico, when you buy the kits, it actually comes with the a little sachet of sanitizer. And then what we do is close the lid, pick it up, and then what we do is we do a little bit of a shuffle like this, just sanitizing all the bits of the Pinter, literally just going through and just making sure that we're all sanitary. And then and I'm leaking, so I've not closed the lid properly, I don't think. I've not closed something properly because I'm leaking. Yeah, you can get the sanitizer from Dark Rock as well. So what we've done is we've just shook that. So what we do now is you have to sanitize all the ports as well. So this bit will be done off screen, but what I do is you turn the carbonation dial off, and then you let some sanitizing fluid come through there. And then what you do is you use the pulley thing and get the tap sanitized as well. So, well, I'm going to do it off camera. I'm doing it here because I'm trying to get as much sanitizer into my bucket as possible. So let's turn the carbonation dial off, and then you can see we've got a little bit of sanitizer coming through the carbonation dial. So I've now turned that back to 5. Rob, that is definitely one for the future. Definitely. And then what I will do is I'm going to take this off. I've got this on there. And then I'll put my bucket down there, and you can see this bit as well. So you put the tap handle back on, and then you do that and nothing comes out. So what you have to do is you have to put the carbonation dial off so it lets the air in the back, and you can just see it's just pouring some sanitizer out. That's going into my red bucket. So literally I'm done with the sanitising, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave that there now full of sanitizer for when I need it. And what I'll do is I will just empty that as and when. So we've currently got 34 minutes until the is that right? 34 minutes till the hop edition. That doesn't seem right. Yeah, 34 minutes till the hop edition. 44 minutes left of the boil. What I think I'm going to do is, I think it's not ready yet.
I can smell it though.
I know you can smell it, but it's not ready yet.
Ooh, that's what I can smell. No, it's the boil.
Yeah, I'm about what 15 minutes into the boil, Rob.
Yeah, this is the best brewery. Oh.
No, Mr. B's in the chat, so he's better than me.
Dad.
Storm, come here. Come here.
Storm, you're gonna get put in the pot and get brewed.
No, he's not.
I'm joking.
But yeah, so we are, like I said,
Oi.
again, it's now another waiting game.
And how come you stopped your live?
I've not stopped, it's still going.
No, you stopped it and then I can't watch it on my Alexa.
I don't know.
But I have made an account on Alexa and I've liked you live on the Alexa, my phone, my iPad, my TV. And no, I can't go on my TV. Do you mean? Sorry.
Should we just say you're a bit more experienced then, Rob?
No, I am. The rain's vodka.
Still learning my way through it as much as possible. But again, we're on another waiting game now. We are another waiting game, and we're seeing. Just waiting for this to be done. This is bubbling quite nicely. Lovely rolling boil. Definitely going to have an hour's boil. Get rid of that DMS. What I need to actually know, Rob, I used some ALDC to stop diacetyl, and they're already in pre-measured little vial things. Can I use one whole of those to go in there, or is that a bad idea? I've never had diacetyl from brewing in the Pinter, but just a question because I'm just conscious. I somehow don't think I'm going to need my temperature mat for this one. But we'll see. Let me get my... So that's my yeast that I'm using. I'm using Lallemand Nova Lager, just because that's what I've got. Yeah, I've never had it in the Pinter either, so I'm like... So I think I'll be good. Although this is me you're talking to, anything could happen. You never know. Anything could happen with my brewing, as you know. Anything can and will happen. It's plastic.
Really?
What are you doing? I'm brewing a Märzen, Rob. So you probably missed it, but I've got Bohemian Pilsner malt in there. I've got Munich 1, I've got Vienna, and I've got Cara Munich 2. And then I'm putting Hallertau through as the hops. So that is where I'm going with it. And I had the Nova Lager because it's a bit of an all-rounder. I think what I'm going to do with it next is I'm going to do a bit like of a New Zealand Pilsner in the Pinter next, with the other half of the pack of the Nova Lager. So, you know, I want to start keep on with the Pinter as well, because I like the Pinter. I just don't like it when the ABV goes out of control. Like the Doppelkolsch that just ended up at stupidly high ABV. Yep, see you later, Rob. I think I should be good. Because I can just see the little bits of little bits of thing, a little bit of malt just floating around, which will be gone by the time we put it into the Pinter. Like I said, I've never used this. I've not used this thing. This, what's it called? Siphon. But I don't know if I'll still be live for that. I think my plan is to get to cooling down, and then I'm gonna just go and do what I need to do. I'm gonna sneeze. Oh, bless me. It is just like a big countdown. We're now on 26 minutes to go until the next hop edition. So we'll just leave that. Yeah. So again, we're just standing around and waiting. Like I said, you know, when the weather's nice, you know, you can sit outside and just have a really nice time. You know, I also use the time. You know, last time I brewed, I used the time to clean a few of my kegs, stuff like that. I'm going to take that out, my temperature probe, because I don't really need it now, because I know I'm boiling. So that one's in there because it's sanitising, because that's the one that will help me keep track of my temperature before I come to pitch. The cooling down again takes another while to do, but it's just trying. What you do is put a bath of. I put some cold water in the sink, get some ice packs out the freezer, and it's trying to get this cool as quickly as possible. The whole idea of the proto flock is to get those proteins together and to drop them to the bottom, so the liquid that goes into the pinter is as clear as possible. But we'll see. We'll see how we get on with it. Like I said, I don't know if I'll be live at that point or not. We'll see how we go, because I'm fast approaching 2 hours. So that's not bad going. You know, I was already mashed in at that stage, wasn't I? So, you know, it's a good old day, but it helps. You know, it's good. Keep looking around to see what I've got, see if I need to do anything. Because the best, you know, I found the best thing I can do is prepare myself for the next step. So my next step is this. I'm prepared, and then once that goes in, the next step is the water bath. So currently, I've still got my bag of grain in there. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put that. We've got this food. We've got these food bins now, and I'd love to put the grain in there, but they're not big enough, and it might be big enough today, but when I'm doing a 23 litre batch, it's not big enough. So I'm like, I end up chucking it away, and it's like, it's a shame, you know. It could go into the food waste and be recycled or whatever happens to it. Like I said, it could go to. It's not enough to go to a farm. You know, I'd love to give it to a farm and go, here, have some free food for the animals. Because I know some breweries do. Some breweries, you know, give the grain that once they've used it to local farms. You know, the ones who industrial. But I am going to pop off for a sec. I'll be back very shortly. Right, I am back. Just thinking what to do. I don't know. Don't know what to do with myself. I really don't. Don't know what to do with myself. But it is what it is. We'll just hold the fort for now. Have a bit of a chat. Do I get another coffee? It's brew day, isn't it? It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Tell you what. Let us get a brew day beer on the go, I think. Shall we? Yeah. A brew day beer is definitely called for. And because I'm brewing a German beer, I think I'm going to do something German. Yeah. Why not? Let's get a German beer, shall we? And let's do this in style. German brew, German beer. I haven't got no Märzen, so I'm gonna do a Paulaner Munch and a Hell. I think this will be. Yeah, Jamie, this is for you. There's my bottle opener. I've had this bottle opener for absolute years. In all honesty, I've never had this beer. But I've got this lovely glass, so it's going to go in here. There we go. Brew Day beer sorted. Look at that for a beauty. That is absolutely fantastic. As Rick says, look at the bubs on that. Well, Rick says I say it, but look at that. That is absolutely off its rocker. How carbonated that is. The bubs are raging. Absolutely raging up that glass. Wow. It's definitely alive, mate. Bloody hell. That is one beer and a half. That's going to cause me so much grief when I'm drinking it. It really is. But cheers. So I don't like beers that are overcarbonated. I don't drink, you know, my beers in my Smegerator are very lightly carbonated. That's how I like them. That though, I've never known anything like it. I really haven't. But it is what it is. Nice drop as well. Very nice drop. First time I've ever had it. Beautiful. This is not the start of a session, right? That's going to be the only beer that I'll be having today. Until later. He says. Yeah. But yeah, Jamie, I don't know where he went. He went off for a coffee and never come back. We've got 16 minutes now to wait until the second edition. So I'm enjoying a beer, Brew Day beer. In German, you know what it's all about. I need to get the proper wear, like, because this is an ABK, but it's brilliant. The boy got this for me. You may know it, Frico. Snobs. The old Snobs when it closed. Got it from there. I've also got some pens from there still that say some Harry Potter thing. From 2017. Yeah, in town. So back in the day, they used to be by, it's on Broad Street now, Snobs, but it used to be round by the Arcadian, and that's where he got it from. I tell a lie, it wasn't that one. The one he got, I smashed. That one I bought. Yeah. I actually smashed the one he got because I was doing a video and thought I was being all cocky and I was going, yeah, I've got this glass, and then juggled it and dropped it. It's smashed. I had to actually buy that off someone from eBay. So I tell a lie. I stand corrected in my good self. But yeah. You know, it's still racing up that glass, look. I can't believe how lively that is. Looks a beauty though, it really does. I'm so happy with that. I've got the Erdinger Hellers in there as well because I'm going to do it for a video. Again, because I've never had it. Yeah, back in the day. The floor, where I've spilt some of the thing and it's gone sticky, the floor. Yeah, the Snobs was a place, you know, years ago. I don't know what it's like these days. It's moved to Broad Street though, so I can imagine the type of people that frequent it. Cause I've been up Broad Street a couple of times on a night, and it's yeah, not my type of place anymore. Used to have a great time up there. There used to be that that nightclub on the corner. It's now it's opposite the cinema. It changed its name to Gatecrasher, but I can't remember what it was called. What was it called? Yeah. Oh, did you ever go in it, Freako? On Broad Street, there was the nightclub on the corner. It's now opposite the cinema, and it was on the corner at the top end. No, it wasn't called Institute. It changed its name to Gatecrasher. Oh, what was it called? No, not the Dome either. I never went to the Dome. I think the Dome closed before I got up there. I went up there for my 18th birthday. We went into this nightclub. Oh, what was it called? I cannot remember. I don't think it's Gatecrasher now. Is it even a nightclub anymore? I don't know. But it was a bloody good club. You had a couple of floors. Oh, that's gonna bug me. I'm gonna have to send a message to me mates and ask them what it was. It's really bugging me. I've just sent a message to the boys because I can't remember, and it's gonna bug me. It really is, as to what it was called. Oh, I used to love Broad Street back in the day. You had the comedy club that then turned into Bar Risa as well. That was cool. Oh, the Works. That was it. Yeah, the Works. That's what it was called. It was absolutely brilliant. Loved it back in the day. Great club. Brilliant. Yeah, that's what give it away. Oh, it was great. I loved it. Yeah, it was. That was the only time it was the only club that you got turned away if you weren't dressed appropriately as well. I remember my one of my mates got turned away from there the once because he had a shirt. We all had, you know, you had to wear shirts and, you know, and trousers back in those days to get in. But he wore, I think it was a Stone Island one, and they would not let him in. You know. In Warsaw, there was that one at the bottom as well, wasn't there? Was it Studio 52? Was it? Was it called Studio 52? Whenever we went up Warsaw, we used to start off in there because before 10 o'clock, it was like double vodka Red Bulls for £2.50. It was great. And then you'd walk up and you'd have that little road, wouldn't you? So you'd have the sports bar on the left. And then you'd have the other nightclub on the right hand side. Oh, what was that one called? Was it? That wasn't it. WS1. I always, you know, at one stage we used to go at Warsaw every Thursday because it was student night. Absolutely brilliant. It really was. Yeah. Loved it up there. Seven minutes. Have. Let's do. I just messaged Jamie and said I'm drinking a German beer for him on the live. Just on a, it's not as much, but it's still going. That Paulaner is really nice. That is a beer and a half. I could drink plenty of them. 4.9% as well. No biggie. What I've said, my German brewing, right, in the summer, I've been threatening to do this, but next summer I am going to brew a Hellas style lager, and a very tongue-in-cheek name for it. I'm going to call it What the Hellas, Jack. Yeah, Paul does speak highly about the Paulaner. Do you reckon he thinks that because it's called Paulaner, it's named after him? Like, you know, if I manage to brew a Hellas that's like that, golden in colour, because when I've done lagers before, it's been a lot more paler than that, but that's the colour I want, nice and golden. You know, this is supposed to be a little bit more darker, and you can tell it looks a bit browner in there. So that's going to be more like an amber colour, hopefully. But that's the colour I want, a nice, golden, clear. But that's not this one. Yeah, I'm going to do a 23 litre batch of it. And I'm going to call it What the Hell is Jack. I might even send him a bottle because I sent him my PD, so somewhere I've got his address. I might just send him a bottle and go, "Hey, Jack, try that." It ain't German, but oh well. It's irrelevant. So we're 3 minutes out from the next hop edition, which is great, and I'll record that for my video so I don't forget, because I didn't record the first one. I should have really. I should have recorded it, but oh well. Them's the breaks. So 3 minutes to go till we add the 5 grams of Hallertau Mittelfrüh, and we add a quarter of a Protoflock. I love the smell. The kids absolutely hate the smell of these. They really do. I like them. So just waiting for the alarm to go off and then we'll do it. We'll get it in. Smells nice anyway. Hopefully after a couple of weeks it should be good. Could you imagine even bottle conditioning one a Hellas? That would be horrific, because the bottle conditioned ones would be so cloudy. Wouldn't go down very well. I think if I'm going to do it, I'll just stick to kegging. I think that's the key. Just stick to kegging. We've got 1 minute 49 to go for this next edition. The pill has been on charge for the last couple of hours. It just needs a little bit of a top up. I should have put it on yesterday. They always, when I've been recommended to do it that in advance, but it is what it is. I'm liking the look of it. I am seeing those little bits of grain in it, so I'm not too happy about that. But keep on going on about it. But it is what it is. Welcome back, Rob. You've joined just in time. I'm just about to, literally in 40 seconds or 38, yeah, to do my 10-minute edition with my Protoflock. So there's just 5 grams of Hallertau Mittelfrüh in there. I'm just going to chuck that in very shortly. I've got myself a Brew Day beer, Rob. I've got the Paulaner Hells, and look at the bubs on that. They were a lot more racier than that when I poured it. But look at that. Right, let's get to video. I'm just going to add all this now. So I've just done a quick record of that, because that will go in to the actual full scale video. So what am I doing next? I need still to get rid of the grain bag, because the grain bag is still in. So I've done a brew day pint of water. I've done a brew day pint glass of a cup of coffee, and I thought, you know what? During the boil, I'll just have one. I'll have one beer. Why not? Normally, I have a brew day beer after I've finished, and then I forget. The idea is to do it and then do a debrief on my videos, but I always forgot, so just ended up having a beer. So now we're on the 10-minute straight to cool down, as they call flame out. So turn the flame off, and then what I do is get it straight over there into the water. So I do need to sort the grain out because it's still in the bag in the sink. So I need to get rid of that sharpish. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to get rid of it. Yep, so I've still got that. Just need to get rid of it. So I've emptied the bag. The bag's empty. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put that to one side, and then what I'll do is I'll wash it out properly when it comes to it. But what I need to do is I need to get this ready to get that in as quickly as possible once it's done. So just getting all this sorted now so I can who's winning? Just tidying up, just getting myself ready, start cooling this off. Because we are very much in the home straight. I may bring you over to the sink with me. I may not. I don't know. See what happens. But yeah, can't believe I've been going for 145 minutes now. That is crazy. But I said I'd do a live stream, and I am. Could do with a little bit of a sit down though, because I've been stood up for the entirety of it, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Doom scrolling? What's doom scrolling? I've never heard of that before. just like I'm doing with the unsold a Pinter. Well, you know, what you'll see is you'll see a video of this process. You will also see me drinking it on Oktoberfest Live as well. Hopefully, as long as everything goes to plan. Hopefully we will. But yeah, we shall see how it goes. Yeah, fingers crossed, definitely. Right, we've got just over 2 minutes to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my sink up. So bear with. So what I do is I've got a couple of ice packs. These are from, I think when you get like food parcel deliveries and stuff, these are great things to keep because I just use them for the sink. So I've got a few more in the freezer because obviously these will go in now and cool that water down. But as soon as I put this in at near boiling, this will get warm very quickly. So I'll put them in a bit later as well, just to try and really keep the temperature down. So these will go into the sink now. I had a bit of a stress moment earlier because I couldn't find the plug. So just turn the tap on. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to let that run just a little bit, just to cool down a little bit more before I add the the idea being, as soon as I put that on there, I'm literally going to put them around there, and we're going to get that temperature down as fast as possible. And I will take you over there just to have a look. We'll see how my tripod holds up. I think I've put too much water in there, but it is what it is. I'm saying that a lot today. It is what it is. And then whilst it's cooling down, we'll go back to the Pinter. We'll empty the Pinter of the fluid. We will get the pill in there sanitised. We will get the siphon in there sanitised. Get it all ready for the transfer. And then, if you're still here, I will have to go because I have to use this to record my transfer, because I haven't got another. Right, the alarm's going off. The boil is done, so the flame goes off. And what I need to do now is I need to get that over there, and we need to start getting this cooled down as fast as possible. Don't want to burn myself, so I'm going to use oven gloves. I think Rob's got the good gloves, the proper brewing gloves. So that is now all set up. what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that out. I'm just going to quickly show you what it looks like. See the so there it is. So that's what it looks like now. So if you look at those, what it looks like, those the protoflock is making all of those proteins stick together. Like I say, what I've got is I've got the ice packs now here, really cooling that down. As we can see, the temperature's coming down. We're now, you know, just under 96 degrees. So that'll be done in about 20 minutes or so. What I need to do is I need to try and fix my tripod because one of my legs is broken. So whenever I try and do a video, let's put you back up. And it's fell off again. So let's just put that back up. There we go, back in the room. Yeah, from what I've been led to believe, the faster you can get that temperature down, the better. But, and you know, don't know if Rob's still in, but there is also the no chill method. That I've seen people put it into like a jerry can and leave it overnight. I don't know what the difference is, but I've always been told to do it the faster the better. So already we're at 90. We're at 91, so you know it's coming down. But what I'll start doing in a bit, because obviously now that's at 91. The water outside of it's cold and there's ice. What I'll do in a bit is I will start swirling the water around outside, and I'll also get the other ice things out of the freezer and see where we go. Try and get that down as quick as possible. Good afternoon, Simo. How you doing, pal? Was it a late one for you last night? Mind you, it was, what time did I leave? Just before 1? Don't think I had so much to drink. I only think I had about 3 or 4 pints, so I weren't so bad. For some reason, I was just drinking very slowly yesterday. Oh, so when I went, you said stay till 1. You actually went at 1 as well. Oh, okay. That's not so bad then, is it? You've missed all the action. The wort is now cooling down. So I'm now at 85 degrees. So we shall, you know, we'll see how it goes. You know, I'm just, yeah, I've just dipped my finger in the water around it, and that is already hot. So what we do is at some stage I'll lift that up, I'll take the plug out, and I'll put some more cold water in to try and keep it going. You know, when I'm brewing outside, just so I can show you, because I've got it. When I'm brewing outside, I use this. Actually, that actually fits in the pan. So I'm not going to do it this time, because what you have to do is you have to add this during the boil so it sanitizes as well. But what I can do is I can put this in. I can connect this to the hose pipe, and this one, the other hose going out, and I can do immersion chilling in the pan, in the pot. That is one for the next brew. Now I know that. That will be a game changer, I believe. It really, really will. But like I said, I can't use it now because it's not sanitised. I've not put it in there during the boil. So yeah, that will have to wait. But that is what I use. I don't think it's big enough for the fermenter outside. So I might need to buy another one because I don't think it's big enough. Or it did come with one, so I need to have a look. But this one was brilliant because it already had the connections available or attached to it. So I didn't need to do anything with it. The Kegland one just comes as like a blank thing and I need to attach my own. It's all additions, isn't it? All additions. But yeah, now I know that. That is worth noting. We are now at 75 degrees and we're still coming down, but it's coming down very slowly. You know, I've just picked up one of those ice packs and there is a little bit of ice left over. So I'm just going to give him another 5-10 minutes and then get the ones out the freezer. And maybe just replace the water. Just, you know, try and get it down. It's coming down slowly. But it's nowhere near as fast as it was because obviously it's heated up the water on the outside. So we're going to just wait a little bit and give it the chance to do its thing. And then we'll take a gravity reading as I'm putting it into the Pinter. I will siphon some into the what's it called? Into this thing. And then we'll take the gravity reading. But also I've got I'll put the pill in there anyway, so we'll get the gravity reading off that. So we shall, you know, we'll see what happens. So we're now at 70 degrees. We've gone down 30 degrees already. It's going. You know, if you look at these now, there's no ice in that. It's all melted. It's totally all melted. It's still quite cool though. So I'm just going to put it back in and give it another little bit of time, and we'll see where it takes us. Might take us somewhere, might take us nowhere. Again, we're waiting. Cheers. That is a lovely beer. We're now waiting for it to cool down. So we wait for it to mash, we wait for it to heat up, and now we wait for it to cool down. Then we have to wait 2-3 weeks, and then we can drink it. Absolute madness. It is absolute madness. We're now at 66 degrees. So it is coming down, but what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take all of those out. I'm going to take that out. I'm just going to replace the hot water with the cold, with some cold, put the other things in. And then what I do sometimes is, you know, I've got to keep that cold tap running, because the cold tap can, you know, I'll go on the side. Well, yeah, exactly, Freako, you know, for less than, you know, I say I don't quite know how much this is, and this one is. But that is certainly what I'm going to do going forward. In my videos that I've got coming up as well, I'll put it in that. You know, this is how much the ingredients cost me. I don't know how much the, you know, electric and stuff costs, but if the ingredients cost 20 quid and then I'm getting 30 odd pints out of it, boom. I'll have to work it out and see what because that's the reason I got into this. The main reason I got into it was I wanted cheaper beer. I wanted to not spend 75, 80 quid off at Trembling Madness for 20 cans. I wanted to spend 20 quid and get 30 odd pints. So that was the reason. You know, so definitely worth it. What I might do actually is I might go back. Actually, that'd be quite a decent video, wouldn't it? If I go back and look at the brews that I've done and go through what the ingredients were and how much they cost and how much it was per pint. I might do that. I might do a video and go, you know, it's a very good idea. Hi Jack, how you doing, pal? Paul and Michelle did a review on it as well, so be interesting to see that when it comes out, or if it's come out, I don't know. I hope you enjoy it, mate. It was, you know, it was just something that I thought would be good to do with the weather, but it got too high ABV to session, so that's why I'm giving some of it out. I think I've got 15 bottles of it in the house for as and when I want it, so it's not so bad. But yeah, if you do, just tag me in it, and yeah, it'd be great. Share it out. I'm just coming to the end of me brew day, Jack. Me work's currently cooling down. I need to go and change my water. I've been saying this for a while and I still keep talking away. I need to go and sort my water out and get some colder water back in there. So I'll still be here. You'll still hear me talking. But I need to sort that out. That's what I need to do. Ugh. So if you look at these now, totally gone. These are now all fluid. They're not frozen at all. So these are going back into the freezer now. And then I've got these 3 more that I'm going to put into when I've replaced the water. You know, tip from Mr. B, he uses water bottles. So he has water bottles that he fills with water and then freezes it, and that's what he uses. Yeah, if you've got the little ones, probably not the best to try it, Jack. Right, let me go and sort this water out. Just emptying the old water into, just emptying that old water out. And then I'm just putting some fresh, colder water back into there. And then I'll put in now. And I'll quickly show you what I'm doing, right? So what I'm doing is, if you look, I'm filling it up, but the cold water is actually touching there. So the whole idea being that the cold water actually just cools it down a little bit even more. You know, we're currently at 58 degrees, so we're still going. It just needs to be a little bit more than that. So let me get these and put these in here. And again, we've just wrapped them round the side, just to try and cool it down as quick as possible. I don't know, I don't know if this is, anyone who does home brewing, if there's anyone watching. I don't, it always seems that it goes really quick, and then when it gets to a certain temperature, it takes forever. It really does. It takes forever. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dip off for a sec, and then I'll come back and we'll talk about the Pinter again. So give me 1 sec. Right, so I'm back. So we're going to talk about the Pinter in a little bit more now. So as we know, we've got this at the moment is full of sanitizer. So what I've got my red bucket down here, and all I'm going to do is I'm just going to empty this into my red bucket, and then I'm going to very swiftly put the top back on it so it keeps that area sanitary or sanitized. Is that the right? I don't know which is the right words to use, but it does it anyway. So just put that top into there as well, and then all I'm going to do is just tip that into there, and then get the top back out. The top is covered in sanitizer as well. I've missed a step. I've missed a step. Everything that work touches has to be sanitized. I haven't sanitized this. So let's do that. So this is where we make a mess. So let's get that off. Let's see if I can pour this back in there without making a mess. I don't need all of it. However, the problem I've got is because I haven't done this, I've got to find somewhere to do this without getting it everywhere. But then I get stuff everywhere anyway. So, where's the top? Put the top back on. I've not put the full 5 litres in. So that's closed. And this is what you do when you're actually putting it on to ferment anyway. So you push it down, have a bit of a wrestle with it. And it doesn't work, look. And then it clicks into place. And then what you do is you just turn it over. And can you hear that? A little bit of a gurgle then. That is the water going into there. So now I'm just going to leave that for a couple, 30 seconds. And then we'll take the dock, we'll take it back off. And then we'll just empty what we'll do is we'll take it off in the bowl. I'm saying I've got nowhere to do it. I've got a big red tub of sanitizer there. So we'll put it in there. We'll then twist it to take it off, empty it, and we're sanitized. We're good to go. We're at 49 degrees. Takes forever, this second bit. It really does. Yeah, you are right, Jack. I've had me. I forgot to put me clips on. I showed everyone else. I don't even know what I've done with them, but I've got some little clips for when I'm doing the in the bag that I put the thing on. And I forgot to put them on, so when I put the grain in, the bag just collapsed into the water. So that was the first thing, and then totally forgetting to sanitize the dock. Maybe that's the consequence of being on a live. I don't know. Ordered Belgian dark ale and a fruit cider. Do you know what? That's one thing I've not had on the Pinter is the ciders. So you'll have to let me know you get on with that. I didn't order anything with extras. I just, I had that. What I ended up doing is I ended up getting a second one because you can buy, you can just buy the vessel, because obviously what I didn't want to do was to wait 2 weeks for another beer. So it was like, right, brew one. And because it only takes a couple of minutes to do, it was like brew one. And then once that's done, you got the dock, get the next one on. So then by the time you finish that one, maybe you've got less of a wait. That's what I ended up doing. I ended up getting 2. The one of them is now gone because it wasn't connecting to the dock for some reason. But I don't need 2 anyway because I've you know, I'm now not in a position where I need to because I'm brewing with my kegs and everything. Come on. Does my head in when we're waiting for it to cool down. It really does. You know, 45 degrees now. Have we got any ice? So the ice packs have still got ice in them, so they're still doing their job. But this is the slow bit. And I don't know how I've managed to get so much water on the side. I always do get water all over the place. You've probably seen on one of my videos when I'm doing my intro video, and I've got water all over me then, and I haven't even started. So yeah, the dock was sanitised. With the ambient temperature here, I don't think I need to use my mat. But somewhere, I don't know where, I've got a heat mat. And all you do is I put that on the heat mat, and then in the dock here, there's this little gap. I put the probe in there, and it seems to do a decent job. I might do a video on that as well, even though I don't use the Pinter a lot now, but I might do how do I temperature control in the Pinter. That's a good idea. Right, what do I need to get going? So let me put the pill together. For those of you who can, you know, afford these things, these are digital hydrometers. So they call it a pill, looks like a pill. Basically all it does is it tracks the fermentation, logs the temperature as well, so you can see what's going on. Because unlike when I'm brewing in the fermentation fridge and the Firmzilla, it's a clear vessel, you can see what's going on. In that, you can't see what's going on. And I have known it that people have followed the instructions for the Pinters where it's supposed to be like a 5% brew, and they've done a reading beforehand and a reading afterwards, and it's only been like 2% because the fermentation potentially hasn't finished. Whereas this one, you can track it. Because what I think when I first had this, I used it, and it took 2 weeks to fully ferment out, whereas the instructions said ferment for 10 days. So that extra 4 days helped with the extra, the extra ABV. I think they're worth it. You can get others called Ice Spindle. I don't know how they work. I'm really happy with that. I've got my app on my phone. I can't show you because you're on my phone, but it gives you a little graph with your fermentation, gives you gravity dropping, your ABV going up, except for the current one, because for some reason it thinks that current fermentation in there is 100% ABV. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? An 100% ABV beer. But I think, it still gives me the gravity, so I know what I'm looking at in terms of ABV. I can work it out myself. There's the Brew Father app that I use to track that. So it's all good. We're on 41 degrees. I need this down to 20. I think this one is very thermotolerant. It doesn't actually tell me. It tells me the pitch rate, but it doesn't tell me the store at less than 4 degrees. Well, I keep all my yeasts in the fridge. There's actually a compartment in the fermentation fridge that I keep them. It does not. It does not tell me. I'm going to have to use the good old interweb and find out what the, you know. What is the ideal pitching temperature for low brew? So it says the pitching and fermenting is between 10 and 20 degrees. So I've got to keep it 20. It also says that it can handle 23 degrees whilst at whilst under pressure. So that should be interesting. Yeah, going well, Rob. Just at 39 degrees on the cool down. I was just talking about this. Yeah, I'm. The temperature's not so bad now. Around. I've got going to put the pill in it, so I should know what my temperatures are. Apparently, this Nova Lager can take a bit of temperature as well, so it should be okay. We shall see. What you did miss, Rob, is I forgot to sanitise my dock. So I've just caught up and done that. Made a bit of a schoolboy mistake. Luckily, I've not I've not put the not put it on yet, but it is what it is. Let's have a look at the. So I've still got ice in these ice packs, and I'm just moving them around and circulating the water around. Yeah, I'm just circulating the water around the pan to try and get it. I think. Just add a little bit more water in it as well. I'm yeah, this bit now, I'm at 37 now, but this bit goes so slowly. What I will do is when it gets to about 25, I'll then start the process of moving it into the dock. So that's what I do. I don't know if I do it right or not. This is taking the temperature from the top. I think I need to buy another thermometer, Rob, because I think I said this to you when I'm doing my all-in-one. The vessel is telling me that it was 20 odd degrees, but the pill said it was like 30 odd. And then when I've researched it, it does say that the temperature at the top can be different, but I'm wondering if that's because of the chiller coil I'm using, because it's not that big, so it will chill the stuff at the bottom a lot more than the stuff at the top. So I think I might have to get a temperature probe that will sit at the top somehow, because I don't think I can use that one. I don't think it'll reach. But who knows? It's all trial and error. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm just going to put the pill now in to the red bucket that's got the sanitizer in it. And then what I'll do is I'll empty that dock in a bit. Yeah, I think that's a good idea, because I think then it can all talk to each other, can't it? Because I've got the wrapped ecosystem, so getting that temperature probe, I think, is the next step. Because then it can all talk to each other. But yeah, again, we wait. It's at 35. It's slowly coming down. I might just need to jiggle it around a little bit again, the water outside. There is still ice in these ice packs, so I'm just... what I'll do is, when it comes to, like I say, when it comes to putting it into the pinter, I will disappear because I need to use this phone to record that. But I'll put a picture up. I'll post a picture onto my channel, and you can see what this looks like in the end. It looks like it's a nice. Yes, Rob, I've said that today. I've been talking about my immersion chiller, and it fits. So next time, that's what I'm going to do. Not this time, because it's too late. Because I needed to get it in at 10 minutes, but I didn't. I realised once we'd started chilling, I think that's the way to go, because I can have it coming from my hose pipe in through the one window, and then I can have my other hose pipe going out in through the other window. But I was actually, I don't know if I should say this, right, but I was actually quite shocked the amount of water I went through chilling my wort out last week when I was brewing that golden ale. So I've got my hot tub, and the hot tub was empty. By the time I'd finished chilling, it was up to the minimum fill line. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm putting it in the sink with ice, but the immersion chiller fits. So next time I'm going to do that. What I'm also going to probably do then is I'm probably going to use that one for that. And then the the Brewzilla did actually come with a chiller. So I'm going to get the attachments for that, and I'm going to use that one just for that. Yeah, that does have something to do with it. I'm not still brewing, Isabel. I'm currently chilling the wort down, so I've nearly finished. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what this Nova Lager does. Part of the premium series, so probably in about 15-20 minutes. So yeah, Isabel, my daughter, absolutely loves she calls it sugar water. Yeah, see you later, Rob. I'll probably be gone by the time you're ready to come back on again. Because like I said, once this is at about 25 degrees, I'm going to start the process of putting it into the pinter. So what I'm going to do, people, is I'm going to put my the pinter with the dock, into my bucket, and I'm going to now detach it. If I can. go. So I've now detached that. So that's sanitised. That is sanitised. And I'm just going to show you if I can. So I've just pulled this out, but I don't know if you can see, but there's the sanitizer in there. So I'm just going to keep that in there. I've just turned it upside down into the sanitizer. And that'll just keep it nice and sanitised for me. We're at 31. Doing good. Gonna have a play with me with this and see what happens. Not a lot. So what I've done is I've just pumped some sanitizer through there. So the inside of the, I'm forgetting the names of everything. The siphon, the inside of the siphon is now sanitised. We're getting there. We're getting to the point where I can start putting the beer or the wort into the pinter. Do you know what, Jack, right? I never understood the process, but once I started doing it, it's a science, but I think it's quite simple. You know, some of them, you can buy recipe kits and you get the kit and you just follow the instructions, basically. You know, the ones from Dark Rock are great because if you need to do 3 op editions, they are actually pre-packaged. So you've got A, B and C as an example, and it tells you when to add them. And it tells you when to add your grain and what you need to do with it. It's a great way to get into it. And that's how I did it. Followed the all grain kits, and now I'm making my own, following the same sort of process, just using different hops and different malts. And you know, so like I said, this is inspired by the fact I had some malt left over from the Check This Out Lads lager. So why not? It's very, very slowly doing its thing. This last bit is, yeah, it's an obsession. It really is. You know, it's like I've got my brews planned from now until October, I think. And I'm like constantly going, what can I do now? What do I need? What don't I need? Oh, this would be good. And constantly thinking in that mind frame. You know, I want to do some weird and wacky brews, but not yet. Whole point was to do weird and wacky brews on the pinter, but I'm not doing them yet. I'm being nice and traditional-ish. Says here you dry hopped an ESB. Come on, 30 degrees. Right, so we're just hovering above just the 30-degree mark. We are really slowing down with the cooling. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it back out. I'm going to remove those, and then what I'm going to do, put it back in and put the cold water on so it's hitting the side of that pan, and hopefully it'll cool it down even more. One of them. Impulse. Yeah, I get that. I get it. Yeah, I used to be like that. So what I'm doing now is I'm running the tap against the side of the pot, just to try and cool this down, because yeah, you know, I'm now on 29. Right, well, God knows what's happening, but I'm running that the cold tap on. It's gone from 29.5 to 29.8. What the hell is that all about? Obviously, the work that's in there, I want to disturb it as little as possible. I do not want the work that is in that pan to be disturbed, because I've got all the stuff that's clumped together. So that is what I don't want. It's now back to 29.5. We can start transferring it in a little bit, which is fantastic. And then brew day's done. I can't believe I've been going for nearly 200 minutes now. That is crazy. What I need to do is, I think I need to get another tripod, and when I do this, I can just have it going, so I don't have to, because I'm gonna have to cut off at some stage, like I said, to put that to put it into the pinter. Right, 29.4. We're getting there slowly. I tend to be very impatient, but I'm going to stick with it for now. What I'm going to do is I shall be back in a second. Right, I am back. We're now at 29.3. I need it to be a little bit more cooler, so a couple of degrees cooler for me. And then I can get rocking and rolling. I'm going to fill it back up with this water, and then we'll see what that does to the temperature. It's a shame I'm out of beer. That was a lovely beer. And then the fun and games begins shortly, because yeah, using this siphon that I've never used before. I wish you guys would be able to see it, but I need my phone, I need my tripod. This is a bit of a shame, really. Whoa! Nearly had a flood. Thank God for the little, you know, the little plug at the... Is it called a plug at the top of a sink? Thank God for that. Jesus. That could have been fun, couldn't it? That's what I get for taking my eye off it and talking to you guys. It's all fun. But we're now at 28 degrees. Is that what it's called, the overflow? Because it really did just save the day. And stopped me from having a flooded thing. But right, I think what I need to do, people, is I need to leave, and I need to get this into the pointer and then put my feet up, I think, for watch the football for a little bit. I think that's the way it's going to do. I'm now approaching 27, so by the time I've sorted the pointer out, and that'll be ready to go. So yeah, so I'm going to head off. Thank you everyone who has come in and spent some time with me. It's been appreciated. You know, long day, long times these. There will be a full-on video about the brew day as well, including tastings, and you'll also see it on Oktoberfest. So, you know, keep your eyes peeled, and I'll see you all soon, people. Thank you for watching, guys. Appreciate you all. See you soon.